Hello everyone, and welcome once more to another edition of Paul's Cinema Picks of the Week. I'm your host Paul Westbrook, and today we're going to be talking about supernatural films. Yes, well, not ghosts or anything like that, but we're going to be talking about people with supernatural abilities, those abilities that are inherently higher than your average human. And I happen to have a few movies with me that actually detail that sort of subject. So we'll get started. The first movie here is called Push. Now, Push is the type of movie where it's a group of people and they all have these very unusual powers. You have what's called movers, you have watchers, you have screamers, and different ones with their classifications of people, but they all have these very unusual powers, and they have to avoid the government, which is the main guy there. Damon Hansu, he plays the part of the government guy, who's after these pushers, he's after the watchers and the movers. And this actually has Chris Evans. Now, everybody from Marvel Cinematic Universe knows that Chris Evans was not only Fantastic Four's Human Torch in the first two movies from 20th Century Fox, but he's more famous as playing Captain America in the Captain America and Avengers films. And anyway, in this one, this is a role that he did, I think, just prior to it, and he plays the part. He's a mover, and they have to seal a briefcase which holds $1 billion secret which nobody knows about, and then of course the government are after them, and you get the screamers who are not so nice people in that. And screamers, what they can do is they make your ears bleed because they scream very loud. They have these very high-pitched sounds to them when they scream. And the film mostly follows the young group as they use the powers to avoid the government for the most part, and then of course they're usually, as per a lot of these type of movies, eventually they have to face off against the government official at the end. But I'm not going to give a spoiler because I don't do spoilers. It's one that you would definitely enjoy. My sister actually liked this film, and she's the one that got me to actually buy it, if I remember correctly. She actually helped me buy the film, and it's one of the really good films. If you aren't really into the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the DC stuff, but you actually want something that's more contemporary, but at the same time you're dealing with powers, then it's one I would certainly recommend that you go out and buy. Which leads me to the movie Jumper. Jumper has another famous actor, Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen starred in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith as Anakin Skywalker, as Jake Lloyd was Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace. But this movie, it's a little different in the fact that Hayden is a teenager when he discovers his powers. Now, a jumper, he can jump, he has this high-powered adrenaline thing, and he can go beyond imagination and everything like that. What he does is he can teleport to any area in the world. And like he'll rob a bank, he'll come out of a lake, and all different special stuff that we all like to see. And again, I guess he has to go against a band of zealots, and of course at the same time he's thrust in the midst of what is called an ancient war. And the movie actually was an action hit and was a global phenomenon, although I'm not sure what I really thought of this movie, but at the same time it contains enough action. Like, the special effects should be enough to sustain you for the film, as a lot of these movies, they aren't really what you call emphasis on acting. It's more or less the special effects that make the movie. But it's a lot like Push in the fact that, again, Push, you have to deal with the government, and then here you have to deal with these zealots that are after him. But it's always the hero that has to overcome the odds at the end. So in that, these movies are very similar. The third movie is called The Covenant. And it's like what they are is they're four friends. They share a 30 secret. They're warlocks. and teenage descendants of a 17th century coven of witches. So, a long banished fifth son suddenly appears and threatens to kill their loved ones. And they realize that they must find the enemy in order to prevent him from stealing their powers and shattering the covenant forever. So it's a group of people with powers. In that aspect, it's sort of like Jumper and Push. You have people with the powers that only they're like warlocks, and the again, the effects are one of the big emphasis of the film, which is what I really like myself. I think my sister likes the effects too, and it's I don't know if it's exactly like Twilight per se. It's definitely not that. It was made by the producers of Underworld. It says on the caption, it says, to save the future, they must battle to save their past. Battle the past in order to do that. So more or less, it's like these groups of people in the movie. And I enjoyed it when I first saw it. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I probably have to refresh myself on seeing it. But it's one I think my sister would recommend, and I would definitely recommend it myself. So yeah, see The Covenant when you can. Now, Stigmata. Now we're getting the religious allegories here too. Stigmata. That's basically what happens is the young girl, she suffers the stigmata, and then let me explain that. The living wounds of the crucified Christ actually start appearing on her body, like the nail marks where Christ was nailed to the cross, the bloodied head where the crown was supposed to be, all that sort of thing goes on. She has to figure out how to deal with this, and then they feel that the actual chanting an extraordinary and provocative message could destroy the church. That's what the caption there is. So they got to try and stop the conspiracy and at the same time save the young girl from the stigmata, which I think, but at the same time I think the stigmata is more or less giving her a message of sorts that they have to figure out. It's one of those mind-twisting films. I have another word for it, but I'm not going to say it on public TV. But it's one of those mind-bending films that you actually have to really pay close attention to, because it's really hard to explain it. You have to watch it and then probably draw your own interpretation from it. But it's worth a watch. I definitely would strongly recommend it. I first saw it at my cousin Harold's near Turkey Point some years ago, and I was so fascinated by it I had to get my own copy. But it's a good film. It's first rate, so find it when you can. Finally, yes, we come to Keanu Reeves in Constantine. Keanu Reeves, who plays John Wick in a lot of very unusual roles. Neo, Ted Theodore Logan from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and you get the picture. But here he plays Constantine. Now, Constantine basically is a guy that actually survived hell. He went down to hell. He comes back, and he can. He basically can command or communicate with angels and demons and all that stuff. And there's a lot of complex allegory dealing with demons and angels and some religion in general. It was based on a DC Comic Vertigo series, and there was a TV series not too long ago, I was going to point that out, about Constantine, that I believe if anybody can find that in stores, they should pick it up and take a look at it. It was very short-lived and didn't last long, but yeah, again, it's another movie of effects, a lot of effects, and not so much the acting, it's more the effects. But there is a story within the story, so if you can peel back the layers and really look at the film for what it is, you might find something you would definitely enjoy in it. And I thought Keanu Reeves did a terrific job as John Constantine. And yeah, recently they had Constantine in the DC animated series and a lot of the comic book animated films. So this is where it started right here. So yeah, find Constantine in your video stores and take a look. Well, that's it for the supernatural thrillers for now. We hope you certainly enjoyed it, and reminding you to like and subscribe to our channel, and leave your comments in the section below the video, so that way we can read your likes and not likes, and hopefully there's more likes than not likes. But for now, thank you very much for listening. This is Paul Westbrook reminding you to keep it real, and I'll be seeing you at the movies. Goodbye.